Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this series is called I Want to Be a Better Coach. And if you're watching this, there must be some part of you that is interested or curious, like, how could I be a better coach? What would make a difference? Or you might have issues or challenges or questions or dilemmas in your coaching practice that you're wanting some support with. And I'm happy to answer any and all questions regarding coaching, or, you might be a beautician, you might be a physiotherapist, you might be a nurse, you might be a parent, you might be a minister, someone who has a relationship with people, and you want to support and empower yourself in being more effective as a communicator and a listener, or just being present. So hopefully I'll be able to share some things with you that you'll find just good to know, hopefully. All right, so let's jump in. Oh, by the way, if you have questions or dilemmas or challenges, there is a form below that you can fill out and ask a question or share your challenge with me. Or you could leave those in the comments below, and I'm happy to answer them as we go. All right, let's get started. So, this is from me today, first of all, and this is something that showed up today with a client, and I thought, gosh, this is really a big challenge, which was this. So my client, I'll call her Anastasia. Anastasia comes in and she goes, "You'll never guess what happens." And she starts to share an experience that she's having with her dog, who is showing symptoms that are unexplainable. And so as I'm listening to what Anastasia is saying, I am attempting to fix a problem. So she and her husband, Harry, they take their dog, Clara, to the vet, and they take it to the emergency, and they're trying all these things, and she's really upset, and things are happening, and they don't know yet what's going on with the dog. So what's happening in me as I'm listening, first of all, is this desire to fix or heal or make a suggestion or solve the problem for Anastasia and her husband. And that's where my mind goes first, is like, okay, what can I say that's going to fix this or heal this? What can I offer as a suggestion? How can I solve this problem for them? So this is an automatic response for so many of us coaches, that we want to solve the problem and or fix it and make it better for everybody. And this is what I call the problem-solving paradigm. We're in this paradigm where if something shows up, we want to fix it. We think that's partly what we're doing as coaches. But as a transformational coach, that's not my job. So number one is I'm describing to you, here's initially where my mind wants to go, is I want to help fix the problem. That means I'm going to perhaps lower Anastasia's anxiety and upset, and I can feel like I'm a hero. So those are all parts of that paradigm of the problem-solving paradigm. So here's the question. If I am not focused on solving the issue or the problem, what am I doing? And as many of you know, my first question with people is, what is it you want? So as I'm listening to Anastasia, I'm not asking that question, what do you want? I'm just aware of a presence of something going on with her that I can attend to. I can attend to the problem, fixing the problem, finding a solution. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Or I can say, wow, Anastasia is in a state of being that's uncomfortable for her. And this is where, for me as a life coach, put the emphasis on life coach, and a transformational life coach, this is where she and I get to have a conversation about what's really going on for her in this moment. What's it like being her? What's it like being in this state where she is, in essence, powerless, helpless, hopeless? She's feeling crazy. So I ask those questions. What's it like right now? And even in terms of the anguish that I'm experiencing with her in that moment, I can address myself to her in her anguish and help her to articulate and be in the experience of that anguish in order to support her being more comfortable and making choices from a place of wisdom versus from, I don't want to be in this place. So what happens, I'm just jumping really quick because I'll forget. what happens when Anastasia's in these states of anguish, in this particular conversation that we had, this is what showed up. She gets really angry. Like she's yelling in her head to the everybody who's helping, x-rayists and internists and, dog vets and emergency people. And in her head, she's saying, do something, because she is so feeling such anguish and powerlessness and helplessness, and she can't control the situation. She has no control right now over the circumstances. And this is a place that's really uncomfortable for Anastasia. So for many of us, like every single person I know, when we are in these states of being that are so uncomfortable, usually founded in a sense of powerlessness, helplessness, hopelessness, it takes us into a state of impossibility, and it takes us into a state of, in a sense, an insanity, because we do not know how to be out of control. We do not know how to be in our lives when we don't know what to do. So this is where I coach to. This is really important, because your clients are going to come in with circumstances and situations. There's no outcome. There's no place to go. There's no place to run. There's nothing to do. And so me as a transformational coach, I'm focusing on, so where do you go and what do you do when there's nothing to do? And people go, wait, how do you coach to that? Like, where do you get, right? And there's this sort of insanity that occurs as a coach to go, well, wait, if I'm not asking, how can I fix this? Or what do you need of me so I can, it's like, what is there? And all there is this moment with Anastasia being in the state that she's in, and giving her the space to know who she is in this moment, and what, in a sense, when she knows who she is and how she is in this moment, she can see how she's responding and reacting. What's the impulsive thing that she wants to do? What's the thing that could be helpful? What's the thing that's so impossible for her to do? So by asking her and allowing her the direct experience of herself in this, I'll call it anguish, she learns to become more comfortable with this place, as opposed to what most of us do, even me, is we try to avoid and distract and ignore this place. Just get me out of here. Just help me fix it. Allow me to be in a sense of control. We all want to have that sense of control, because when we feel safe, when we're in that state of control, we feel unsafe if we're not in that state of control. And this is a practice that I, as a transformational coach, empower my clients to become more at ease. Like, I am powerless in this situation and I'm safe. And this is a big conversation. Now, if you're, I've been in recovery for a long time, and I've also been working the 12 steps a long time, and I've worked in recovery as a therapist for a long time. So my background and foundation is in the 12 steps, if you will, or in the serenity prayer, where it's like, wow, here's a circumstance and I'm out of control. I'm powerless over the circumstances. Anastasia is powerless over what's happening with her dog. Nobody knows yet. What's the protocol? What can she do? She doesn't know. Her dog is supposed to be on a heart medicine, and the dog, Clara, doesn't want to take it. And so all these places where Anastasia feels out of control. And the serenity prayer is, grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change. And we're not there yet. We're just in this point of allowing Anastasia to know the experience of powerless, helpless, and hopeless, and experiencing it in such a way that it's not terrifying. And quite often what happens is people experience this as if they're a child, because in our childhood, there are moments where we do feel hopeless and helpless and powerless. And at that moment, quite often we create a strategy that helps us feel like we're in control and we can handle the situation no matter what, gives us a sense of safety, and dismantles the vulnerability and the insanity of those moments of hopeless, helpless, and powerless. So this is a big conversation for you and for me to be having, because it's like, well, how do you be there? How do you coach to that? How do you navigate that this moment? And the way that I navigate it is just to see what is up for Anastasia, like see her and listen to her and hear her, basically see her, get her, see her, hear her, get her, and go, I totally get it, and allow her that space. And quite often I'll hold that space of knowing what it's like, because I know the experience of being out of control, especially when it comes to my animals, and that state of angst or anguish and the powerlessness that you can feel when you don't know. And so I can hold that space for her so that she can truly have that experience. And it may feel like a very young part of her, and it probably is, but we can hold that space in such a way that she or your clients, or we'll just say Anastasia, can not can feel safe to be her true expression in that anguish, in that powerless hopelessness, even in the anger that she's feeling. When she gets into those vulnerable places, anger shows up. It expressed itself hugely because it's the only way she can feel, know who she is. In a sense, it's complex, but it's not complex. It's just the response that she has when she feels out of control. Do something. You're the grown-up, you're the adult, you're the expert, do something. And when nobody is able to do anything, we can feel very angry, or we can feel very sad, or we can feel like the insanity. At some point, I would love to write a book about the insanity of everyday life, like what we try to make sense of that is truly insane and that we have to be with and we have to maneuver and work around. So this was a really big one for me and a big part of what I do with my clients is, and we think of coaching as being outcome oriented. So, here's Anastasia and she's having this issue with her dog, and what does she want? And, what should we do? And what should she do? And move in that direction. And another client of mine, Marcia, said to me yesterday, she said, Rosie, you are such a master at just staying here, letting go of all that other stuff, and just being in the moment with me. And Marcia was saying this, being in the moment with me and nothing else matters. Not future, not past, just this moment. And I really appreciated hearing that from Marcia because she's a coach herself and extraordinarily talented and masterful herself. And for her to acknowledge me in that was really important because it's one of the things I think that makes us really valuable when we're not trying to get our clients to something. We're just being with our client where they are. And in that where they are-ness, in helping them have the direct, true experience of themselves, they get to know who they are. It's a very empowering process to what I say is support and empower my client to support and empower themselves to be here now and know that they're safe, regardless of how insane it feels. Like they know they're safe. So what to practice to do this? Notice your stuff, notice how scared you are, notice your desire to fix it so it doesn't happen. But when we try to fix things, we're not honoring our clients' truth and their experience where they're at. We're not honoring them. We're not respecting that this is an event in their life. This moment is an event in their life, which they need to experience for themselves and draw the courage and draw the wisdom and the strength to move them to what's next. So if I try to fix things or make it better or smooth over things for Anastasia, I'm not honoring her path, her journey, and her what she came here to resolve and learn and grow through. So this is what we're up to. So the more that you can watch or notice, like, oh, I want to fix this, then and you can put that aside, go, oh, I want to fix this, but that's not my job. My job is to sit and respect and honor this precious experience that my client is in, and watch and see and hear and observe and witness and get the truth of their experience. And in doing that, you're honoring this whole field, this whole practice of life coaching. So just see how that works for you. And if you have comments below, please leave them below, and I'd be happy to hear from you. And it also contributes to the conversation of what we as coaches are experiencing for ourselves, in ourselves. Just leave it at that for now. All right, my next question. Kendall is learning to coach. I may have mentioned him before. And he says, do I need help marketing? Basic question. And it's just, it's like, do I need help marketing? It's like, well, it depends again, Kendall, on what it is you're wanting. Do I need help marketing? Then let's see, how do I want to answer this? There's a yes and a no. The most important part, Kendall, is that what a lot of marketers are doing with you and for you is helping you get clear about who you are, what your truth is, what your message is, what your way of coaching is, your practice, what is yours, uniquely yours. And as you know, as you're getting clear about what that is, you get clearer about how you want to express that, how you want to bring it into the world, how you want to create an invitation in the world for people to find you or work with you, have a conversation with you. But that's generally what a good marketer is going to do. They're going to say, who are you? And what is it you're wanting from this work that you're doing? And what is it you want to say? And who do you want to say that to? And what is it how do you want to do that? So one of the things is a website. Like a lot of people say, do I need a website? One of my favorite, amazingly masterful coaches, Lisa, doesn't have a website, and yet she is highly sought after as a coach because the referral rate is so high for her. She doesn't market herself. She doesn't go looking for ways to let herself be known in the world. She doesn't have a website. She doesn't go on Facebook or IG or anything. She is just really good at what she does as a coach, and so people seek her out. That's what I want for everybody, is that we just are so good at what we do. We're so effective in what we bring to the world is people seek us out. So a good marketing person will help you discover who you are and what's the truth for you and how you want to bring that into the world. And that's the bottom line. So what I was going to say about a website is, for me, and my website's been up for 20 years, and it's evolved. I've said this before. It's evolved over years because I've evolved, and who I am as my expression of myself, my essential nature. I want my website to reflect that. So if you're developing or creating a website, or you're in the point of revamping, how will this website reflect who you are? And you might look at other websites, or I work with WordPress and Elementor, and they give you a lot of different examples. And I go, I love this, don't like that. And so the web designer I worked with, they said, okay, we'll do some of this and we won't do this. And we put it together in terms of what felt right for me. So really imagine what feels right for you, and that's going to help you develop that, and help if you're working with a marketer or a web designer. It's going to help them get clear about who you are and what's your expression. My website, and I've already said this in past ones, my website has blogs and videos, and it has descriptions about things. It's got my books on it. It's got my paintings on there, because it's like a whole place where I am an expression in the world. And does it mean I get lots of clients? No. It doesn't mean I get a lot of visitors? Not necessarily. But it's a place for me to put myself out there in the world. And it's a really good practice. It's just a practice. Like, here's a place where I can be me and not be anybody but you. That's the most important thing, is if you're coaching people to be their whole self, their whole expression of self, then that's what your practice is. The more you can do that for yourself, being the fullest expression of you, then the more you're able to support and empower other people to do the same thing. Now, again, some people might not want a website. Some people may not want um, to do social media. You know your way. And again, like Lisa, it might just be one-on-one coaching sessions or coaching to a group or doing workshops. It doesn't matter as long as you know what that is. And the more that you feel your heart, in a sense, feel the joy of that experience, that's where you go. I love doing these videos, and my heart, it sparks joy for me to do these. So I do them. That's all there is to it. I did work with a person who was a branding expert, and it was an interesting conversation, and it was helpful in some ways. And it was just a learning for me. It's just a learning. And it's not like we have to buy into or take in or use anything anybody gives us. It gives us an opportunity to empower ourselves to say, well, this is helpful, but this isn't. This is great, but this isn't. Working with another branding person, it was really helpful because she's like, what's important with a tagline is that it represents what you do. And so when I thought about it, I thought, what are the words that really speak to what I do? And so the words cultivating enlightened living showed up. I cultivate enlightened living. I help people become enlightened, more aware, conscious of what what they want in their life, and their living becomes more of that. So cultivating enlightened living, and another was cultivating enlightened leadership. And so that was really helpful, and I kept that. I still have that. So when you're working with people, you don't have to buy anything that they're saying. You don't have to buy any of their ideas. It just helps you get clear about what's true for you. And, even what I'm saying, and I've said this to you before, if what I'm saying isn't working for you, that's good to know, because you can go, that doesn't work for me, because here's how it really is for me, you. And that's what's really important to know, is this works for me and this doesn't. So even these conversations, you don't have to buy what I'm saying. You don't have to say, oh, it must be the truth because she's got all this experience. No, it's like, nope, that doesn't work for me. It's like, if this doesn't, rather than cutting it off at that point, that doesn't work for me. Ask yourself, well, if this doesn't work for me, what does? What are my principles? What is of value? How do I want to? How do I experience myself in the world? How do I want to experience myself in the world? So the value of a marketing expert is that they can help you reflect on what's yours and what's not yours. My daughter uh, um, is a marketing consultant. She has a business, Fezzik Marketing, um, and um, and she's really, really, really good at this. And we have these conversations, and she says, "This is what you should do," and I go, "Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me." And she's very comfortable with me saying that, and I'm getting more comfortable, rather than saying, "Oh, I have to do it her way," because she's the marketing expert and my daughter. I go, "Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me." And I come up with my own way. And I believe in the bottom line is that's what we're all here to do, whether we're coaches or in business or whatever. We're here to find our own way, our unique expression in the world. So I hope that helps, Kendall. The third question is what to say when I don't know what to say. So quite often our clients are talking or telling something or sharing something, and we get to those points where we don't we may have lost track, or we may have gotten distracted. It's like, oh, look, there's a pretty bird outside, and then it's like, oh, I don't know where I'm at. It might be that the complexity of what the client is saying, there's so much information given in one sentence that you want to kind of take a break and go, okay, stop, I need to figure out where I am here in this moment. It's like navigating, um, going in a direction or a trajectory. Sometimes you have to stop the car and look at the map and go, okay, where am I and where are we going and what's this about? So sometimes my clients talk so much that I get confused and I don't know what to say. And sometimes, again, like I said, they sometimes what they're saying is so full, compact of so much information, I don't know what to say. Or they're just in a story so nebulous, I don't know what to say. So in those moments, I take a breath, and I quite often will go to my client and say, okay, so I'm going to call a timeout. And I take a breath. And I'll say three things. I'll just say there's three things that I might do. One is I'll say to the client, what is it that you just told me? In a CNN or Reader's Digest perspective, what is it you just told me? And that empowers the client to get clear with themselves about what it is they're intending to say or for me to get. This is really important because sometimes as coaches or therapists or people, it's like, oh my God, I didn't listen, I didn't hear, and we take offense or we feel shame or we feel guilty because we missed something. But if we create a relationship, this is all about relationship, and we go, you know what is it you're really wanting me to know here? Then it gives my client responsibility and accountability to say, here's what I want you to know, or here's the three things I was trying to say all at the same time. That helps my client be clear for themselves what their intention is. It helps me because I can listen more clearly to what my client is saying. You know, my client might say, I don't even know what I was saying. It's like, awesome. Good to know. It's like, because what's the point of talking if you're not have an intention? If you don't have an intention behind what you're saying, what's the point? What's going on? And you hear me kind of question about why. I don't ask why questions because they're not very effective. That sense of like, why are you telling me this if it's not something that you need me to know? And we get more clear with our clients. What's the intention behind your talking? Just a question, because that's part of what's showing up for our clients. So number one is ask the client, what is it that you're wanting me to know here? Second of all, I might say, so what is it that you're wanting from this conversation? What is it you want from me as you're speaking? And again, it's putting it back on the client to say, here's what I'm wanting from our conversation. The third thing I might say is, you know, I hear there's a lot going on. I may just own, hey, you said so much. I kind of got overwhelmed. Let's break it down. And they'll go, I wonder where it is, what, and I'll go, okay, so I lost track with you when you were talking about A and then B, and then right then I lost what you were saying. Can we go back there? And that lets the client know that I am tracking them and I am listening. But sometimes things get confusing. Sometimes energies and emotions or something else comes up that kind of moves things in a direction that takes me out of focus and out of presence. So I can say to my client, okay, so I heard you say this, but what is it that came after that? So owning that I may have gotten distracted or something else caught my attention, it's not a bad thing to so go, wait, I got distracted. Can you go back to what you were saying about this? Or, you know, you were talking about this and you were talking about this and you were talking about this. And so I'm kind of confused. Like where for you is the sort of place of it's the common denominator. Where for you do these all come together? How come you're talking about this and then this and then this? Like where do they all come together for you? And in that curiosity, my client can get clear, like, wow, there is a common denominator. There is a common thread here. So by me asking the questions, by me being clear to go, wait, I just got overwhelmed, or oh, I got confused, or oh, I got distracted. That's an honoring and a respect for both of us to say, here's what happened. I got confused, distracted, overwhelmed, whatever. And it honors them in being truthful and honoring and respectful and saying, hey, I lost track. And they can go, okay, great. When you're honoring of them in that way, nobody will get upset. If they get upset, that's something to talk about. It's like, wow, you got upset about that. What just happened? So what to say when I don't know what to say is I might go, wow, I don't know what to say, and hold a silence, which can be very uncomfortable and very and a practice in itself. Wow, you just said a lot and I don't know what to say right now. That's a really, again, we're talking about life coaching. So even that is an expression of the truth of my life. I don't know what to say right now. And honoring the truth of that, much like I did with Anastasia in the first question, letting her have a true expression of herself. This is true for us as coaches to say, you know what, I don't know what to say about that. And I might say, what's showing up for you? You just said a lot, but what shows up after you've said all of that? What's true for you? What's coming up for you? And that gives them an opportunity to have a direct experience with their experience of the moment. And again, the silence can be it's very, very powerful and profound when we can hold that silence for people. I'm not very good at it sometimes because I want to rescue the client from that discomfort. And that's another thing that is another question that comes up is like, wow, how do I hold that silence? Because it's really uncomfortable. It's like I should say something. I should know what to say. But I get feedback from my trainees that holding that silence for them, even if it's 4 seconds, is so profoundly beneficial for them. So just something to offer that sometimes what to say when there's nothing to say could be, I don't know what to say. I don't have anything to say to that. And they can go, well, I don't know. Where do we go? What do we do? And it's like, well, where would you like to go? What is it you want from here, this moment, with what you just shared? Big stuff. And for me, in providing this series of I want to be a better coach, it it challenges me to own the truth of my coaching style or where I'm at in this place of coaching to the moment, not coaching to the future, not coaching to the past, but in the moment. Because for me, the truth is that my principle is that this moment is the profound fulfillment of all the lifetimes and all the experiences that have come before, all the thousands of ancestors and the history and all. It's the culmination of this moment with this client. And to say, wow, what's it like in this moment to be you? They go, it's just a moment, it's just a normal moment. But the truth is, it's the culmination of all that's come before. I work with a lot of people who are in recovery, and they go, wow, I've been in recovery so long. Why didn't I know this? Why didn't I go here? Why didn't I get this taken care of before? Why are there so many other addictions and things coming up that I thought was finished because I got myself off alcohol or whatever the drug of choice substance was? And it's like all that work, all that growing and efforting has brought you to the culmination of this moment. So me as a life coach, I can hold that moment for you as a coach and hold that client moment with a client to say, this is the culmination of everything that's come before as a precious, sacred moment. So why move forward? Why go someplace? This is where we need to be to explore the true direct experience of you. And in knowing that expression, you can move forward. After my conversation with Anastasia today, she said, wow, I don't even know how to know me because I've been in this structure and this strategy for so long that I don't know who I really am outside that strategy. And the fact is 99% of us have been doing that. And so being able to have a true expression of self without grief or shame or guilt, like, wow, I get to be me. How awesome is that? And the more that you as a coach or as a support person or a parent or a minister, the more that you can do that in your wherever and however you serve others, a sponsor in a 12-step program. However you get to be that fullest expression, you honor and allow others to have that expression too. All right. I think that's it for today. If you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to hear more. Push the button notification if you want to be notified. These come out every Thursday, sometimes Wednesday or late. So please feel free to do that. Leave comments and questions below. And I have an upcoming advanced transformational coaching program intensive that's coming up in September. I'll put the link below it for that so that if you'd like to know more about that, you're welcome to look at that. That's September 2024. All right, blessings to you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your interest in being a better coach, more effective coach, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.